The bigger the change in actions, the bigger the results. We cannot expect drastically different results with the same old habits, with the same old scenario, with the same old story. Are you one of those people who have motivation for the new year? You're so ready for it, but you get dragged into the new year and you quickly realize you just can't seem to keep up with all the ambitious goals you set for yourself. I was in that same position. I grew up in Japan, and yes, 日本語喋れます。チャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。I remember vividly this one year. It was January 1st. And I sat in the bathtub and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a new woman. I'm like a Victoria's Secret model. I bought myself that like dry brush thing after seeing one of the Victoria's Secret models get those brushes and like, talk about it. I'm gonna, do all these like hot bath, hot girl things and become this best version of myself. 3 days later, only to be back into my old habits. And I realized this one key factor to really change your life is actually not repeating the same mistake over and over again. The videos that you're watching every year and then they don't produce anything for you is because there's a reason. We have this tendency to just, keep watching videos after videos thinking that they're gonna bring us some sort of like results. But actually, the secret is within us. The secret is actually in our actions. So here's what you're gonna do. Number 1, set intentions. Intention is literally the answer to everything that you want to achieve in life. Last year, within a span of 12 months, I traveled to 12 countries. And I believe it's because I had intentions. It was very casual intentions, but like the fact that they got out of my mouth, like I said, yeah, like let's do, wouldn't it be so cool to do like 12 countries? And like we were both on the same page, me and my husband, and we ended up actually doing 12 countries. Why? Because we had intentions in place. Setting intentions, asking yourself like, this is what I want to do, or this is what I want to achieve. Why do you want to achieve that? How do you want to feel? Why are you doing this? If you want to have that successful life, or if you want to have that, like just harmonious, like self-development moment for you, then why is that? Why do you want to become the best version of yourself? When times get tough, then we'll have this foundation and nobody can really move this. So, which means that you're going to continue to develop yourself. Step number 2 is figuring out which areas of life you want to tackle. Usually people have health, wealth, relationships, self-care, traveling, and education. For me personally, I want to do like focus more on myself. Like after having kids, I haven't been really able to focus on myself. So this year for me, it's going to be all about, trying out different new products for myself that make me feel beautiful. So in the morning, like it's always nice to just have a little bit of routine. Like I don't recommend having a lot of steps in your routine because then like it gets already like your energy in the morning is so high that you don't want to waste it on like doing all these rituals and take like 2 hours. What I do really is wash my face, brush my teeth. If I get time to read or like drink a little bit of tea to wake me up, but that's about it. If I don't get to do any of that, that's great. But what I really need is just quiet time, because then like you can really focus better and give more to others when you're actually charged. Doing my skincare, listening to music, just winding down, reading like for an hour or so, like whatever I want to do, we can do all of that. We know it's waiting for us at night. So focus on morning routine being super quick so we can get on with our day. Number 2 for me is time blocking. If you plan your day like down to the minute, you're bound to feel exhausted and overwhelmed. Having like time blocks for each task. The best way to learn about yourself is experimentation and then find out what works best for you. And I think this is a great time because the year hasn't finished yet. We still have December. So this is a great time to really experiment, and then next year go with full force, like Superwoman actually, like that. Number 3 is health and working out. So for me, I focus on Pilates and walking. You give yourself the best environment, then you're bound to succeed, right? It would literally pay so much interest, like too much actually. Like the more you put in, the more you get out in the older days. Every time you hear some like elderly person that's really alert, they usually say that they've been active and they don't feel like they've aged because they're able to do certain things. So activity, everything. Number 4 is eating right. And what I do is basically guesstimate what I would need for the week and get it all together, because we all know when you're hungry and you don't have the right ingredients to quickly whip up a meal, you would end up like ordering out or eating out, and that does not feel good. I was stuck in a hotel like last month for 3 weeks, or actually a month, and I had to eat out like every day, and I was not having it. Like, it's so boring, like, just having to eat like all this unhealthy stuff, even if it's like good salads. Even then, like, there's nothing better than a homemade meal. What I recommend is having a week's worth of groceries, a week's worth of like protein, milk, whatever you eat according to your diet. If you need anything, if you run out of something, you can always go to the grocery store, but have like foundational groceries. And how you're gonna know what you need in a week is basically, it's experiments. Again, what you're gonna do is you're gonna need like 2 or 3 weeks to really see like what you actually like consume on a daily and weekly basis. And then you'll realize, okay, yeah, I need like 2 of these. Oh yeah, maybe if I had 3 of these, it would have lasted me for the whole week and stuff. So it's really nice. It makes you think ahead for the whole week. And then if you have a strict date on this day, like I'll go to the grocery store, then it's just gonna become a habit, like, and this is the best time to get into that habit. So when the new year comes, like you're already in a habit. You have an idea on which areas of life you want to work on. Now I want you to list out everything you want to have achieved by the end of 2024. If you wrote that she is really fit, I just want to have like the best figure on earth by the end of 2024. Now we can think back. It's like, what would she be doing? Like, it would just imagine that. I promise, just by doing that, you already have a seed planted in your mind. Our mind is literally the best supercomputer ever to exist. That's all you needed to do. Now we need to visualize for the year. You kind of like painted the scenario, right? Now we need to completely forget about the year and focus on month to month. Get in the habit of talking to yourself / journaling. And I know you've heard of it many times, like it's so boring, like, just talking to yourself, like, what do I even talk? Like, this is literally the start. Like, if you talk to yourself, you're gonna know more answers than any video that you're gonna be watching on YouTube. If there's anything that you need to do going into next year, learn to talk to yourself, because once you understand what goes on, like, it's so easy to just redirect or help yourself. And every day you're gonna be checking in with yourself. Every week you're making plans, and then you're sticking with it. And then you're kind of like, keeping up with like if you followed through or not by like making little checklists in the bottom. I've shared before too that joining day 1 because of like Ali Abdaal has really changed my life, because I learned to talk to myself. And then I also have a little like checklist in the bottom for every night before sleeping. I plan for my next day. And so, like in the morning, I know exactly what I'm doing. And for some reason, like by the end of the day, I always finish most of the things that I plan to do in the previous day. So it's kind of weird. Like, I don't even try, and it just happens because it's a habit that you create. And if you fall back easily, if you can't keep up with like, talking to yourself, journaling, then I highly recommend that you go out there, make WhatsApp groups with like-minded people, and throw yourself in there. You don't need to wait for someone to invite you. You make the invitations for others. You go out there and create the life that you want once and for all, really. Like, it's a shame if you're not living up to your talent. So this is the last thing that I learned from my mentor. She's a really successful person in every aspects of life. And this is what she said. She said, if you want to change your life, whether that's YouTube or whatever, change the wording that you speak to yourself, change your words, how you speak to yourself, and change your actions. The bigger the change in actions, the bigger the results. We need to be taking different actions. We cannot expect drastically different results with the same old habits, with the same old scenario, with the same old story. Once and for all, I want you to really work on yourself, where you change the story you tell yourself. The biggest lie is the thing that you believe in the most. So if you don't want the next year to look like this year, we need to change actions. We need to do things differently. Really dare to do things differently. That's what I'm gonna say, because it's always so comfortable just being in your own little cocoon, being, not worrying about working out, not eating right, not eating this, not eating that. Like, I just see all these girls say, oh, all these girls are so lucky, like they're so skinny, they're so fit, like all of this. But like when I see Like you're eating all these like junk food every single day. You're self-sabotaging really. What is it that you really want? Do you want to eat just always like yummy, yummy, delicious, yummy, yummy food? Or do you want to actually have a fit with good health and flexibility? Which one is it? And of course, you can have a nice blend of both, but you really got to choose and make the decision. Then everything comes naturally. I would love it if you can subscribe down below. I make videos weekly and on success mindset, health and beauty, wellness. You know, if you like any of that, then please subscribe down below and stick with me because we're going to the moon. I'm just kidding. And with that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.